So when we're talking about MVP or testing, the leanest way is start with prompt engineering and then go to fine tuning. But nowadays, there's this new kid on the block. I don't know if you read it. It was published in February about called GraphRag. It's a really interesting way of how to approach specific or professional data to help your model to understand and on the other hand, develop it pretty fast with the ability to iterate and learn through developing it. I really recommend looking on this article published by Microsoft last February. They're talking about how they build those. They take long text. They build connection, context, and communities of data upon it. With an algorithm called lead-in, they organize the graph, and then they take those nodes and they combine it with a vector database called Milbus, and they reach like amazing efficiency. So I think this is the new way of building a product using GraphRag. After you understand that you provide real value with prompt engineering, simple prompt engineering. I found this interesting and beautiful presentation of how they see those graphs build through their experiment. And this is one approach that I think it's very helpful in building new products. The other problem that we have in conversational AI products is that the long context problem. And we see that this is something that's in development. The longer the context, the less efficiency and the less accuracy that those graphs are, those models are coming up with. So this is also some kind of a pitfall to make sure that you're not falling into. I do believe that GraphRag will help improving and helping those models, but it's time to, we'll see in time. But this is, these are the two, I'd say, pitfalls and solution that I think every one of us should consider when building a new product, AI product. In terms of design, many people are, just trying to, build some kind of a chat window or something like that. But I think it can really hurt the way that our users seeing it. So, have you heard about Uncanny Valley? I hope you did. That's basically that moment where your users are looking at your AI bot, and they're kind of scary. You're trying to mimic, people, and basically you're reaching that moment where your user are like, "Oh, what was that?" And something that when you design the user experience, you really need to understand if you're reaching that areas, and if you do so. There's lots of way to manipulate or just to be candid with your user, and ask a clarity question like did you mean that or that, or context. Maybe understand like in which time of the day he's asking you this, or just setting expectations or talking with transparency and empathy. I will perform this. I'm just a bot trying to help you. All those kind of sentences that could really help your user understand that they are interacting with the AI. They're not really scared of it, and they're not churning because of that. Yeah, I know that I'm a bit short in time, but about critical UX is just being transparent and also knowing how to handle errors. And sometimes we have that areas where the AI can give such a such a good answer that people will start feeling that it's too personalized, or it crossed the border in some ways. Some ways of sharing too much, or telling something that is too private. So it's also critical UX pattern that you should take into account. Also, clarification question, expectations, and responsibilities. I can't do that. I'm not allowed to answer you this and this, or give you this and that information. It's also a pattern that we should mimic. In terms of ethics, I don't know if you read about this, but it's very important to make sure that you don't have biased data, you don't have some kind of a bad prompts that can somehow show or expose that you do have some kind of biased data, and then your answers will be not appropriate. And also, helping people understand with what they are interacting. This is a case of, I don't know if you heard about the case that Amazon tried to build some kind of a hiring bot, and the result was that hiring bot preferred white male over other candidates just because it was trained on biased data. One more thing to take into account here in ethics is the ability to explain. I'm not going to dive into this, but using SHAP and Lime are algorithms that can really help in explaining like what's going on with the data, and why are you and is it biased, or is it able to explain why it reached those answers. What else? Yeah, data anonymization. This is something that Zoom is doing pretty well. If you ever looked on products that are anonymizing data, and of course measuring. It's something ultra important in those areas. If it's accuracy, like for the models, if users are satisfied, don't ever forget that you're at the end you're talking with users. So the AI can sometimes hide users that are not really satisfied from it. So always remember to measure it with CSAT and other metrics that can help you here. And also, obviously, the business impact. If it's not really helping the business, then you don't really have to do that. And remember that at the end, we're talking with users, real people. AI can help, but sometimes it can really hurt the business or the users. In terms of looking into the future, I think conversational AI is going to wash a lot of features that are currently out there. And yeah, there's like a very interesting article of Andreessen Horowitz about how voice can help in transition lots of services. Just imagine yourself how many times you are either interacting with in chat or in voice. It's still phone is still the one of the main channels to get service in the US. So if you can somehow turn your conversational AI bot into also adding voice, I think it could be also very critical for a business, a business that you're working at. So I just hope that I managed to stand in the frame time. And if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer.